Across America, cities once pulsing with tourists are facing a devastating silence. Niagara motel lights flicker over half-empty rooms. Atlantic City's casino revenues have collapsed 30% since 2010, and Orlando parks raise prices as crowds thin. The United States risks losing up to $22 billion this year, as international arrivals drop by nearly 9%. Beyond Las Vegas, the unraveling is spreading. But which city will fall next, and why are travelers truly turning away? Tourism's role in the American economy has always been outsized. Before the pandemic, travel and tourism made up nearly 3% of the nation's gross domestic product, supporting millions of jobs across hotels, restaurants, airlines, and attractions. In 2019, the United States ranked among the world's top destinations, drawing international visitors in record numbers. But the landscape has changed. As of 2025, international arrivals are forecast to drop by 8 to 9% compared to last year. That translates to a projected loss of up to $22 billion in spending, a blow that ripples through every corner of the hospitality sector. Domestic travel remains strong on paper, but experts warn that this masks a sharper decline in high-value international markets, especially from Canada, Japan, and Western Europe. Every percentage point lost in international visitor spending means roughly $1.8 billion less in export revenue. The causes are layered: rising travel costs and persistent inflation, negative perceptions around safety and affordability in major cities, and new policy barriers like visa surcharges and stricter entry requirements. Some travelers have shifted their attention overseas, searching for better value or greater peace of mind. Others are responding to backlash against over-tourism or are simply priced out by soaring hotel rates and hidden fees. These forces are not just reshaping the travel industry, they are threatening the economic lifeblood of entire cities. The question now is not just how much has been lost, but where the impact is landing hardest. At Niagara Falls, a motel owner stands in a parking lot emptied by new border rules. Canadian visitors, once the lifeblood of the U.S. side, are down 10 to 15% this year. Tour buses that filled the lot every weekend have vanished. The last family-run motel shut its doors after hosting just 2 bookings on its final night, citing insurance hikes and the hassle of new visa interviews. Across town, half the hotels sit dark through the off-season, waiting for crowds that never arrive. In Atlantic City, the casino floor is quieter than it has been in decades. Revenues have sunk nearly 30% below the 2010 peak. A boardwalk vendor, who once counted on summer weekends to carry her through the year, now watches as foot traffic thins and neighboring shops close. Competition from new casinos in Pennsylvania and New York has only made things worse. The city's grand hotels are offering deep discounts, but the crowds are not coming back. Orlando tells a different story, but the pain is just as real. Theme park ticket prices have hit record highs, yet attendance at Disney and Universal parks has barely grown. A cast member, dressed for a parade that draws fewer families each month, wonders how long she will have a job. Middle-income families are priced out, and the international travelers who once filled hotel blocks have not returned in force. For these cities, the signs are everywhere: shuttered doors, empty rooms, and workers waiting for a recovery that keeps slipping further away. On a quiet street in New Orleans, a bed and breakfast owner unlocks her front door to silence. Last year, Mardi Gras crowds filled every room for weeks. This spring, only half her bookings materialized. Jazz Fest, once a guaranteed sellout, drew the smallest audience in over a decade. Rising insurance premiums and hurricane repairs have forced dozens of small operators to close, leaving hospitality workers searching for jobs that no longer exist. The city's legendary festivals, lifelines for so many, now struggle to break even. In San Francisco, a convention organizer scrolls through a list of cancellations. The Moskin Center, once the heart of the tech conference circuit, sits half empty after major events withdrew, citing safety concerns and a downtown that feels abandoned after dark. Hotel unions call emergency meetings as workers face cut hours and shrinking paychecks. The city's brand, once a magnet for global visitors, now battles headlines about homelessness and business closures. Thousands of miles away, a community activist in Honolulu leads a march along the waterfront. Signs demand action against over-tourism and rising rents. Japanese and West Coast visitor numbers remain far below pre-pandemic levels, even as hotels slash rates. In 2023, dramatic beachfront protests spurred new rules restricting short-term rentals, drawing cheers from locals, but frustration from those who rely on visitors to pay the bills. The tension between preservation and survival is everywhere. Across these cities, the cracks in the tourism economy run deep, each one exposing a different kind of vulnerability. On Michigan Avenue in Chicago, a city official stands before a row of empty storefronts. In 2023, 3 flagship retailers, including Macy's and Gap, abandoned the Magnificent Mile, citing safety fears and dwindling foot traffic. Incentives and security patrols couldn't stop the exits. The loss rippled through nearby hotels and restaurants, with business travel and conventions lagging far behind pre-pandemic levels. For the city's hospitality workers, fewer visitors mean shorter shifts and shrinking tips. In Las Vegas, a casino worker clocks out early after another slow shift. The Strip, once a magnet for weekend crowds, now closes entire elevator banks to save on costs. Room rates have soared, up 43% since 2019, reaching an average of $204 a night in 2025. Resort fees, once a minor annoyance, now tack on up to $65 per night. Visitors are pushing back. Occupancy slid to 78.9% this year, and gaming revenue can't fill the gap. Layoffs roll through the resorts, leaving workers and performers on edge. Portland's event coordinator scans a calendar dotted with cancellations. The city lost several major festivals and conferences in 2025 as organizers cited safety concerns and a battered downtown. Vacancy rates climbed, and blocks that once buzzed with food carts and music now sit quiet. The cultural heartbeat of the city, its parades, its summer fairs, beats softer with every lost event. For locals, each closure feels like another door shutting on the city's old identity. Across these cities, the collapse of retail, leisure, and culture is more than economic. It's personal, and it's happening in plain sight. Economists point to a deeper problem beneath the headlines. The World Travel and Tourism Council warns that the United States is facing structural challenges, not just a temporary slump. New visa fees, $250 per visitor, combined with stricter interview requirements, creating real barriers for travelers from Canada, Japan, and Western Europe. Airline seat schedules show double-digit cuts on routes to cities like Las Vegas, Honolulu, and Chicago, directly tied to these policy shifts. A World Travel and Tourism Council analyst notes that domestic travel alone cannot shoulder the burden, not at this scale. For every 1% rise in travel costs or red tape, arrivals from core markets drop by nearly the same amount. The data makes one thing clear. These cities are not just victims of changing tastes or economic cycles. National policies and cost barriers are draining their lifeblood, while local fixes struggle to keep pace. Local leaders are searching for new ways to keep their cities alive. In Portland, officials are investing in remote work hubs, hoping to attract long-term visitors who spend more and stay longer. New Orleans has doubled down on its cultural roots, channeling funds into neighborhood festivals and small music venues instead of relying on massive events. In Honolulu, a city council member described the challenge. They said they cannot go back to the old model. Their future depends on balancing tourism with community. Some cities pin their hopes on global events like the 2026 FIFA World Cup or the Los Angeles Olympics. But experts warn these are temporary spikes, not cures. The real test is whether cities can diversify before the next downturn arrives. Today, tourism jobs support 1 in 10 U.S. workers,